Dynamax Lugia is taking over Power Spots this weekend with a new event. Dynamax Lugia Max Battle Weekend. Here's everything to know and the best tips for this event. So November 29th, 6 a.m. to November 30th, 9 p.m. will be this event in which the bonuses of your max particle collection limit will be increased to 1600. You only have to walk 500 meters to collect 300 max particles. You will get times 8 max particles from Power Spots, so 820 per new Power Spot, and Power Spots will refresh more frequently with Dynamax battles, most likely every hour. There'll be a free timed research starting on November 25th you can complete, which will get you an encounter with a Dynamax Ghastly Candy, max particles, and more. A top tip for this event is to not actually collect your max particles you get from the timed research until the event so you can do an extra Dynamax Lugia battle. So if you get any max particles from the timed research the week before, don't use them. Now, of course, Lugia is going to be taking over, in which it will be a 5-star max battle, which will cost 800 max particles to complete, and the lobby size will be limited to 4 people. Now, Lugia, of course, is a tanky Pokemon with an attack of 193, HP of 236, and defense of 310, max CPL of 50 of 4186. It's going to be to Ghost, Dark, Ice, Rock, and Electric type. As far as charge attacks Dynamax Lugia can use will be Sky Attack, Fly, Hydro Pump, Future Sight, and Aero Blast. And the best attackers, aka the Pokemon you want to switch into during the Dynamax phase, will be as follows: Gengar with Gmax Terror, then Gmax Grimmsnarl with Gmax Snooze, Gmax Toxtricity with Gmax Stun Shock, Dynamax Gengar with Max Phantasm, Dynamax Single Strike Urshifu with Max Darkness, and Dynamax Zapdos with Max Lightning. For the Dynamax Pokemon, make sure that their fast move is the same type as the Dynamax move you want. As far as the best tank Pokemon, the Pokemon you want to use to fill the Dynamax meter before switching out, you will have the number 1 being Dynamax Blissey with Pound, Crown Sword Zacian with Metal Claw, Dynamax Metagross with Fury Cutter, Dynamax Corviknight with Sand Attack, Crown Shield Zamazenta with Metal Claw, and Gigantamax Snorlax with Lick. Highly recommend on all of your max attackers unlock their max move to the highest level, and for your tank Pokemon unlocks Max Spirit and Max Guard, so you can go ahead and heal your Pokemon or even put up shields to take less damage. Now, there's 2 types of moves the Dynamax boss can have: the targeted and the large attack. The large attack will hit everyone and you can't dodge, and the target attack will only hit one person, but you can dodge it, and you know it's targeting after you because the 3 Spidey sense lines that appear above your Pokemon. You can then dodge right or left to dodge that move, and depending on when you dodge, it will change how much damage you reduce. Now, if you do have a Dynamax Lugia with Future Sight and Hydro Pump as a targeted and large attack, these moves you might want to reset the lobby by leaving and coming back in to change the moves. These moves will be really hard to tank, making this a lot tougher. Remember, if you do end up dying though, always remember to keep cheering. The battle is not over, and if you die on screen, you can go ahead and cheer to fill the max meter for other people who are still alive. Now, a couple tips: if you are in a smaller rural area, there's a couple things you can do to make this easier to take on. Number 1, consider using Max Mushrooms. These are going to double the damage in max battles of all your moves. If you have smaller teams or you're struggling to take on this Pokemon with less powered up Pokemon, Max Mushrooms could help. You can also use Crown Sword Zacian or Zamazenta's Adventure Effect, which will give you a 5% damage boost in max battles and 5% defense boost if it's Zamazenta, making it a little easier to take on these bosses. Also, Dynamax Cannon from Eternatus will increase your Pokemon's max moves by 1 level. If you have a level 3 max move, it'll be level 4 with Dynamax Cannon. All different tips you can do to make it easier to take down a max Lugia. But if you do not defeat it in 6 minutes, remember, Lugia will become enraged and will start pretty much one-shotting your things. So if you do not beat the boss in 6 minutes, that's when you want to consider using these extra power choices. Now, let's talk about Lugia though. Is it actually worth taking on? This Pokemon is obviously going to be tough to take on because it's very tanky. You want the best counters. So is it worth investing into? As a max attacker, this Pokemon will not be a good attacker. Does not really have a lot of high attack, and there's Pokemon like Dynamax Alakazam, Latios, Gardevoir, Galea that are better. And as a tank Pokemon, it would also be considered good with a really high defense stat, but currently in Pokemon Go doesn't have the correct fast move. To be a good tank Pokemon, you want a 0.5 second cooldown fast move so you can spam fast moves as quick as possible to build your max meter so you can switch into your attacker. But Lugia only has Extra Sensory and Dragon Tail, so not very good. However, if Lugia ever does get a move in the future, it could instantly become one of the best tank Pokemon as a max defender in the game, as will be very tanky and fill the max meter quick. But for now, not very good. However, you can get 1 to 2 Dynamax Lugias, not only to dump into Power Spots to grind candies for Lugias, so you can power up any of the other Lugias you might have, potentially Shadow Lugias you might have. Specifically, Lugia is ranked number 9 in the Master League and 10 in the Shadow form in the Master League. So getting a couple grinding their candies through the power spot feature, or even through doing the max battles is a good opportunity to invest into your PvP Lugias. Now, before the event starts, I recommend you go into your advanced settings, download all assets, and turn on native refresh rate. It'll make for a much smoother gameplay experience. Also, before doing any battles, set a mega Pokemon that's a flying or psychic type so you get more candies for catching Lugia. In Pokemon Go, anytime you have a mega active that's the same type as the Pokemon you're catching, you'll get more candies. So mega evolving Mega Pidgeot, Alakazam, Slowbro, Pinsir, Aerodactyl, Gardevoir, Medicham, Salamence, Metagross, Latios, Latias, Rayquaza, or Mega Gallade will be a good opportunity to get more candies for Lugia. Also, on any of the Lugias you might be catching, consider using Pineapple Berries or Silver Pineapple Berries. Pineapple Berries will double your catch candy, Silvers will 2.34 times their catch candy. If you're struggling to catch Lugia on a Pineapple Berry, this is when I would consider using the Adventure Effect from Black or White Kyurem. Ice Burn and Free Shock Adventure Effects will give a 1.25 or 1.5 times catch multiplier for Ice Burn respectively, making it so you can actually catch Dynamax Lugias on Pineapple Berries and get 2 times candy for Lugia catches. Also, of course, once you do defeat a Lugia, consider putting in a Pokemon at the power spot, dropping in Dynamax legendaries like Lugia or any other ones you might have, Cubfu, or rare Gigantamax Pokemon. Anytime anybody battles that power spot, you can get up to 5 free candies for that Pokemon. You can then recall it and do this over and over again to grind candies passively. Also, anytime you do defeat a tier 5 max battle, you get 10 Lugia candy, which is great. And if you spend 200 Pokecoins, you can double this. Also, if you do these max battles in person, you will be getting 12 Premier Balls instead of 10 and an additional 2,500 XP. So if you have the choice between remote and in person, you get a little bit more from doing remote. And this brings us into how to grind the most amount of resources during the event, because you can actually get a decent amount. Normally, you're going to get 15k XP and 15k Stardust from a tier 5 battle. You can double this by using 200 coins to 30k XP and 30k Stardust. But then you can activate a Lucky Egg and Star Piece to increase this all the way to 60,000 XP and 45,000 Stardust. Now, if you do plan on doing this, the best way to do this is going to be by sharing your items, as you can get more value out of them. If you party up with some friends and you all join a party and everybody in the party shares 4 of each item, Star Piece and Lucky Egg, everyone in that party will get 4 hours of Lucky Egg and 4 hours of Star Piece. If you don't know, sharing items to a party doubles the value of that item, but only as long as all 4 people are sharing the item. If you were to use 4 Lucky Eggs on yourself, you'd only get 2 hours, not 4. So if you guys are going to grind a bunch of Dynamax battles, consider joining a party and everybody share those items. Finally, if you're looking for people to take on these Lugia battles, consider going on Campfire, sorting by meetups, and looking for meetups there. You can find local meetups where people will be battling, and you can find ones hosted by an official community ambassador. Attend an official community ambassador meetup, and if you check into that meetup, you'll get a free timed research that will reward you with 800 max particles. With this extra max particles, you can do 1 extra max battle. If you save those max particles from the timed research, that should give you 1 to 2 max battles. And another tip I forgot to mention, on Friday, consider not using any of your max particles and save them to bring them into the max battle weekend, so you can go ahead and do even more Dynamax Lugia max battles for free. As a free-to-play player, I think you can do up to like 5, maybe even 6 max battles on the weekend. Watch the other two on the screen if you enjoyed this one, guys. Good luck during this event. Let me know if you'll be playing it or not. Follow for tips. Peace.